Oppa Gundam style, everybody, and welcome back to WoW Cool Robot. I am joined, as always, with Max.
Hello, I'm Max, use he, him pronouns.
And I am Jake, and I also use he, him pronouns.
That was a fun little way to change it up. I was like, whoa, what's Jake pulling on me today?
Jake got a little backwards. Oopsies.
So it goes. We are not talking about specific episodes today, Jake, because we're just hanging out today.
Just bros being guys.
Just guys being dudes. We're going to talk about Mobile Suit Gundam Double Zeta as a whole. This will be largely unstructured, right? There are three main categories of discussion. That's a weird fucking way to say it. Basically, when I do these wrap-up episodes, we do three things. One, we talk about the show as a whole, what we liked, what we didn't like, etc. Two, we rank the cool robots, which is the most important part.
Oh, absolutely.
And three, we go to the mailbag where all of our fans and listeners send in questions for us to discuss, which is also the best part. Everything's very important here. It's fun getting our takes out. It's fun hearing other people's takes. It's fun just riffing on a series. How are we doing, Jake? You doing good today?
Oh, I'm doing excellent. I went and got some burgies, and I am full on burgies and doing good.
Fuck yeah! I have started to make habanero tequila.
Oh,
I bought a and this is with guidance from previous host of Wow Cool Robot, Colin. I bought a little carton of habaneros from Lidl. And on Instagram, I posted, I was like, hey, I got habaneros. What should I do with them? And my friend Callie said, you should make habanero tequila. So I went to Colin. I said, hey, Colin, you're a mixologist. What should I do? And they said I should use, I believe, Salza Silver is the brand. And that's what I got. And I took three of the little guys and I chopped them up into slivers and I put them into tequila. And tomorrow, after work, I will drain them out, pour it through cheesecloth, put it back in the bottle, and hopefully I will have habanero tequila. And what did they say? They said simple syrup to the tequila and lime juice, and that's basically all I really need. So hopefully that'll be fucking good.
Huh? That is wild. I am very intrigued.
I will be sure to report back because I love habanero, the flavor of it and the spice of it. So it'll sure to be a very fun time. Other than that, I've been playing Monster Hunter, but I've been building Gunpla updates. I'm working on my Blue Frame second revise Astray. My sister got it for me for Christmas, and I wasn't really able to start it until now because I didn't have a good dish to do the water slide decals with. But that's what I got.
Beautiful. I have finished up my Double Zeta, and I will be starting on my Maxter pretty soon.
Hey, that's me.
Hey, it's you.
Never gets old. Never fucking gets old. Gunpla update over. Okay, Jake, let's fucking dive in. What would be a good way to start this out? What did you think about Double Zeta as a whole?
I really liked it. I wasn't sure what to expect going in because, years ago, like I said before, I had watched the first few episodes and I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. And I took the foolish internet's advice of skipping Double Zeta. Mm-hmm. And so coming back into it, I kind of was like, what should I expect? And I was like, I'm saying that word a lot. But but I didn't have high expectations.
Right.
But I really wanted to correct my mistake because I knew it was one. Mm-hmm. And I was so pleasantly surprised.
Oh yeah.
This is such a good show. And the people who told me otherwise were fools.
Mm-hmm. No, I truly loved it.
Because I think that this is definitely going to be a series that sticks with me for a very, very long time.
Yeah. It works so well. I feel like when people talk about, oh, you should watch Gundam, start from the beginning. I feel like a lot of the times it ends up being watch 0079, watch Zeta Gundam, watch Char's counterattack, and you're good. I feel like, and again, this is my very inexperienced perspective on this, but I feel like a lot of the times Double Zeta is sort of left out of the conversation. And certainly that's changed in more recent times. I feel like when I look up a Double Zeta on Twitter, when I see people talking about it, a lot of the times the conversation is basically, hey, a lot of people used to say to skip this one, but don't. It's really good and valuable. And like, you know, as we have demonstrated and learned, absolutely, don't fucking skip it. It is such a good continuation of Zeta, I feel. It's
the direct sequel to Zeta. Like way more than Zeta was to 0079.
Right.
This is just like, it feels like, especially with, you know, considering how big of a deal Haman is and was.
Oh my God, right, yeah.
Like, you got to figure out what happens to her.
It's very cool that she is the link between the two shows.
Yeah.
I like that it's not necessarily Camille. Like, yeah, Camille's there, but no, the main thing linking Zeta and Double Zeta is Haman Karn. Like, she showed up and she was one of the main bad guys of Zeta, and now she's one of the main bad guys of Double Zeta, but like, no matter who shows up to cause problems, it always ends up being her stealing the show, pretty much, because she ends up being the most important character. It's such a good show. Like, we always say this, but like, we had such a fun time watching it every week. I feel like the worst thing about it is that it's just kind of hard to find. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Yeah, you kind of have to seek it out, and a lot of the times you're going to find a version that, you know, maybe doesn't have all the openings and endings stitched into it.
Yeah, we got the speedrun version.
Exactly, yeah, no fucking time wasted. You go in, you get your Gundam content, you leave. No dub. The only dub that exists is, like, I think a Singapore dub, and doesn't fucking sound good, I tell you that much.
Yeah, it's just kind of been, like, swept under the rug. Like, no, just forget about it.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about it. But like, it is an important show. It is important for UC. It is, it does carry the themes of Zeta forward, because, you know, 0079 ended, and that could have been a standalone show. Like, you didn't necessarily need a sequel to 0079. When the show ended, that was that. But then Zeta happens, and Zeta left so many things open that I feel Double Zeta picked up on and kind of tied away. Like, obviously, the Grips conflict led into the Neo-Zeon War, and that was the main conflict in Double Zeta, and that was ended. It showed you what happened to Camille at the end of it. Honestly, the biggest thing that was left open from Zeta is our friend Char Aznable, and of course, there's a whole fucking movie about that. Tune in next week to hear more on that. But it works so well as a sequel. I like it.
I went back and kind of watched some of Zeta, and it just felt it did come to a conclusion, yeah, but it didn't feel like it came to an ending necessarily.
Right. Yes. If it weren't for Double Zeta, it would be such a fucking unsatisfying ending for Zeta.
Absolutely. And so the kind of the point, or the reason I brought that up is just like this, it feels necessary.
Yes.
It feels like you're missing half the show if you decide to skip Double Zeta.
That is a really, really good way to put it. It is, you can, you know, watch Zeta and move on to Double Zeta. But I feel like in my head, the attitude I'm imagining of someone who watches Zeta and goes right on to Char's counterattack is like, okay, that was cool. I don't care about people from Zeta. I want to go back to Char and Amuro, which I feel Char is interesting, but I don't give a shit about Amuro anymore. Every time there's a new main character, I care about them so much more because they're so much more fun of a character. I guess that's also just because Amuro's grown up, and we're not going to talk about Amuro Hawks. He's like, they mention him at one point in Double Zeta. They say, oh yeah, he's in space now, and you see him in the opening, and you see Char in the opening, but like they're not in it. So I feel like you're doing a disservice to all of the, in my opinion, way more interesting characters in Zeta if you don't watch Double Zeta and find out what happens to all of them.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot to say about Amuro, but there's a lot more to say about everybody else.
Right. Like Camille, you get a very believable, very satisfying ending to Camille's story in that, yeah, he just... Oh yeah, by the way, we're going to fucking talk about the entire series, so if you, like, have yet to finish Double Zeta, don't listen to this, because we'll be spoiling things. But, like, Camille just gets better. He doesn't have to go back to fighting. He doesn't have to, you know, undergo any more pain. No, he undergoes pain when, you know, the colony drop happens. But his arc completes, because you see him at the end, and he is happy. He is with Fa. He's better. Like, you wouldn't have gotten that if you had only stopped at Zeta. And I guess, like, to play Devil's Advocate, to play Devil Gundam's advocate, Sure, you end Zeta like that. You can say, oh, it is a gritty, realistic war story that doesn't always have a happy ending. But it's like, yeah, but don't you want something satisfying?
Yeah, I'm good with an unhappy ending. I'm not good with an open-ended non-ending.
Yes. I'm okay if it's unhappy. I'm not okay if it's unfinished.
Yeah.
Like, Double Zeta sort of seeks to finish what Zeta did, which I really, really... It's cool. So much about the show is cool. I feel like I don't think either of us were really bothered by the tone shift at all either, because I feel like both of us sort of realized, yeah, the tone is different because we start out with a brand new cast of characters who are younger, who don't fucking have anything to do with the war at this point. Like, yeah, it's going to be more humorous, and the show sort of remains humorous throughout, except for like the last like third or so. But even then, it's more humorous just because it's sort of meant to be, because you're kind of going through the show from a different character's perspective.
And oh my god, with how heavy Zeta ended, you needed some levity.
You
for
really?
a little bit.
That's the thing. Who the fuck wanted more? Who wanted more dark, heavy, realistic war stories? I don't want that. I don't want more characters to end up with like a broken mind after Space Dracula like fucking blasted them with the soup. I want to see a funny guy try and steal a Gundam. That's all I want.
And it got back to serious. It got to have a little break.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A palate cleanser. It was the pickled ginger
There we
of
go.
the UC trilogy. You just take a little nibble, and then you're good to go. And then when you get back to the real shit, you're like, this is good. I love it now. I'm happy again. What was I gonna say? I feel like there's several things bouncing around my mind that I don't know what will be discussed when we go into questions. I feel another important thing that I don't necessarily liked about Double Zeta, but that I noticed about Double Zeta is Bright. Because, you know, Bright is arguably... I mean, he's the character you see the most out of the entire trilogy, just because he's always fucking there.
Yeah.
But Double Zeta really solidified how much I do not like Bright Noah.
Yeah, Bright's gonna be the, he's gonna be the character who is in the history books, because he's like the commander of, you know, important ships through
every important ship, yeah.
But, God, most of those people aren't good people, and...
Yeah, he fucking sucks. His entire thing is like, we should let the kids fight. And you can't hand it to them and say, the kids want to fight. It's like, yeah, but the kids shouldn't want to fight. Like,
yeah.
Bright is there and he's important, but, yeah. Like, I mean, it's hard, right? Because I feel like a lot of the, like, more heavy parts of Gundam I like because they're important, not necessarily because they're good or fun to watch. And certainly this is not to say that there are parts of Gundam that are bad that I do like, because, you know, fuck Moon, fuck Tiger Bomb. I don't need any of that shit. I will say the whole Sahara arc was decently handled in portrayal of like indigenous peoples, but like a lot of the worst parts about Gundam I appreciate because it is just like, that is the show's perspective. And, you know, you get the end, you get Judo punching Bright out, and you're like, hey, go Judo, fight the power. But then it just kind of glances over that too, and I feel like that's one of the sort of biggest detriments of the show, and that it really doesn't do a good job sort of showing that. I mean, well, what am I going to say? It shows that sort of like power imbalance and that way that, you know, kids get coerced into doing this fighting, not necessarily entirely by Bright, but Bright's one of the main culprits of that. But it doesn't, I don't know if the show always goes far enough to show like, hey, this is a fucking terrible thing. A lot of the times it's like, yeah, the kids want to do this, so you should be cheering them on. It's complicated.
Yeah, I just thought of that scene near the middle of the show, I think it was, or maybe in the back half, where they're going to replace all the kids with trained adults, you know, and Bright is saying, no, we can't do that. But like, and I think the show wants you to agree with him, but
right.
We shouldn't be. We should be like, yeah, the like trained people who know what they're doing and who have signed up for this and didn't just like kids who got roped into it should be the ones fighting. Not like I said, kids who got roped into it.
Yeah, you become so not empathetic. You become so like used to the kids being around that you want to root for them like almost uncritically. It's like, wait, no, I really shouldn't want them to pilot the Gundam, because this is the youngest group of kids yet. Like, Judo is 14 years old, Lena is 10 years old, like Beecha is the oldest and he's 15. Like,
God, I forgot.
Yeah, they're fucking babies, and this show really does not show that. Like, yeah, it shows them being mature and arguing with each other, but it doesn't. You really don't get the feeling of like, yeah, this is a 14-year-old, because I feel like that's just more of an anime problem in general than a Gundam problem.
That's true.
But yeah, like, I mean, I think Amuro was 15 in the first series, but I don't know. I feel like there's still a lot of things worth talking about the show that you're kind of able to say, well, it has the problem of the kids are made to pilot again, but the more it happens, I feel like for me at least, in the UC trilogy, the less there is to say about it, because it hasn't really been a different... Well, actually, it kind of has been a different circumstance, because the kids were sort of brought onto White Base at first, because Brett was like, yeah, you can fucking work for us, and we'll give you money. But then once, I think, when they got the Nail Arc armor, they were like, oh yeah, by the way, you took the ship, so if you stop working for us, you're going to be war criminals. So they ends up getting coerced regardless. But I feel like it is a very interesting cast to make them all such young kids. And I think that choice works in the show's favor.
Yeah, I mean, like we've been saying, it sucks that they are so young, but I think them being so young makes them a lot more interesting. Like,
yes.
Like that age is going to be more interesting to watch, more interesting to see how they develop and come up with solutions for problems than a bunch of adults would be, because adults have their shit somewhat figured out, and kids are way more emotional, and that's going to be just way more interesting for the viewer.
Yeah, I feel like while you were saying that, I was thinking, well, what if there's a Gundam show where they're all adults? And I'm sure there is, and I'm sure I'll get there eventually, but I think when they're adults, you get a lot less people like questioning their ideologies and experiencing what war is really about, because by that point they've already gone through all of that. You see them and they're pretty set in stone with how they feel about, ideology, society, etc. But with kids, you get to sort of see them learn this, and you get to see how they grow and react to it. Like, we get to see what Judo is like after being exposed to war, and to his credit, he became this super empathetic, capable person who, above all, doesn't want people to get hurt. Which I think is one of my absolute favorite parts of Double Zeta is seeing Judo's growth over the entire series.
Oh yeah, he sucks at the beginning.
He's he's just a fucking dumb kid.
Yeah, but he becomes a real actual hero, and
yeah,
loved to see it. Like, he made me very, very happy.
Mm-hmm. Like, thinking about all the cast members, almost all of them get their sort of growth. I think the only characters we don't see get their big growth is Eno and L, because Beecha and Mondo are the main ones, right? They fuck off. They work with Zeon for a while, but then later on they really they understand responsibility, and they understand what they should be doing, and they join back up with the Argama crew and work with them, and Beecha becomes the fucking captain of the Nail Argama. And he grows into that, and Mondo grows into it as well. I mean, Mondo's obviously harsher circumstances when he sees the girl he likes get fucking somehow killed by a Zgok, by a racist guy, by a transphobic, sexist, racist guy. But like, they both end up so capable afterwards, and I feel like that was just a very fun thing to watch that you wouldn't necessarily get with adults.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
But oh man, like you were saying, Beecha grows so much. He's a completely different character.
Seriously, yeah.
Like, but from the beginning to the end, like, those episode 1 Beecha and episode I can't remember what the last episode number was, but
47, I believe.
Yeah, 47.
Yeah, 47.
Those two guys, I don't think they'd recognize each other or like each other.
They wouldn't get along. Absolutely not. No, yeah, it's like. Yeah, Beecha pretty much was, like, the biggest changed character over the series. It's cool that he wasn't the main character, and, like, it's just nice to see him grow into, not an adult, obviously, because he's still, like, 15 or 16 when the series ends, but, like, it's just good to see him grow and get better. And I feel like none of the characters had really crazy unlikable moments like a lot of the Zeta cast did. Like fucking Rekoa, holy shit, that was just dire the entire fucking time, and no one really got to that point. Like obviously Bicha and Mondo worked with Xeon for a while, and Rue had her whole fucking thing, but like none of them become hard to love, or rather none. I never got to the point where I didn't like any of them. Even when they were doing things that I didn't like, I still was like, okay, but like you're still a fun character, and I still like to see you.
I got really close to not liking Rue anymore.
Right, Rue. Yeah, I mean, the worst part about Rue is when she's like, "Hey, Judo, get over the fact that your sister got fucking killed. You idiot. You dumbass. Like, come on, Rue. Like, fucking, he's 14."
And I wish that I wish there would have been a little bit more of a discussion or ramification in the show about that, because like she just kind of comes back and everything's cool.
Yeah, and then they end up together afterwards, so I guess he just forgave her for all the time she was being so fucking rude to him about his sister being killed. Except not really.
Yeah.
Yeah, It's a good cast. I love the Shangri-La kids. They're so much fun.
They're amazing.
Wonderful cast, and I love seeing all the characters from Zeta Gundam as well. Like, except for Bright. I don't give a shit about Bright, but I love seeing Astonage. I liked how Torres had fucking development, and he got his own little bit of episodes on the moon too. Like
that was really cool.
Keythron is there sometimes, and then the new characters that get introduced that aren't from any other series. Some of them are good, some of them are not. Actually, most of them are not. Like fucking Millie is fine, but Emery/Emily and Midchar, fuck them. I hate both of them.
Ugh.
But all of the fucking everyone from Neo Zeon is like, I love them all so much.
Oh my god, the villains in this show were so amazing.
They are incredible. I feel like they strike such a good balance between being foppish, silly, goofy cartoon villains, and also, yeah, by the way, they're dangerous, competent fighters who you really need to fucking watch out for.
And even they had some growth and some change. Like, this wasn't actual character growth because we didn't see it happen, and it didn't happen because the person wanted it to. It was happened to him.
Yeah.
But it was really interesting seeing, and honestly, very scary, seeing Mashmer go from his goofy, adorable, lovable self to, like, this, like, still devoted to Haman, but kind of a cold and, like, more calculating and just way more serious villain. I wish we could have seen a little bit of the go-between there, but it probably actually works better that we didn't.
Yeah, you know, I feel like both Mashmers, because they're basically separate characters, except
honestly,
for the storyline of They Both Love Come On. Both of them are just so fucking good. I love to see them. I love the comic relief villain Mashmer was in the first part of the show, and I love the super confident, fucking souped up battle badass he was at the end of the show. And I feel like his death, when he died, I was like, you know what? This is fine. This is what I expected from him, and I'm happy with it. I love Kara Soon. As much as I don't care for horny content in shows, hers is just so fucking funny.
I feel the exact same way. Anytime that there's horny in shows, I'm like, okay.
Don't need that.
Yeah, but damn it, she was so lovable and silly. So it was okay.
And yeah, it's fine. And you know, Rakan is one of the main bad guys, and he's cool. He's very cool and badass. I don't like that he is like probably the most prominent black character in the entire series so far, and he's like the most evil, pretty much. But
yeah,
fucking and then there are a lot of lesser. Like, I like that they went to the effort of giving, like, a decent design and name and personality to the guys who show up to get killed. Like, that fucking, what was her name? Like, that blonde lieutenant that Glemmy had when they were fighting outside of Dakar, who gets killed, like, 5 minutes after she's introduced. She had a full name and a full character design and everything. Like, they put in a decent amount of effort.
Yeah, she was Ilya or Ilyana or...
No. Ilya was the pink hair lady who was hanging out with Mashmer at the end.
Oh, which lady?
Fucking, I'm trying. I'm looking. I'm scrolling through my notes to see if I can find it. Runaway Rue. No, this is Rommel. Siblings Love. No, this is too early. Lena's Blood. Here we go. And her name is I almost have it.
You're going to say it, I want a Jimmy Neutron brain blast probably, and be like, oh, fuck yeah, I loved her.
Amathapola.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She was amazing.
She just shows up. She has cool 80s hair, and she fucking dies. There's like August Guidon. There was fucking Lex Luthor, who ate 40 cakes as 410s. And of course, Glemmy. Oh my god, I love Glemmy.
Oh man, Glemmy is a mess, and he's great.
It is so fucking funny that I fully believed he was a one-off character who was going to get killed, and he ended up being the main villain of the show.
Honestly, like that's one thing I was going to bring up later, is that like really who's the main villain, him or Haman? It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah,
and I love that.
I honestly do think Glemmy is the main villain of the show, because like Haman, she's the holdover from Zeta, right? She's around then, she's around now, she's the quote unquote final boss, but I feel like Glemmy is almost more Haman is a more important enemy to Judo specifically, but Glemmy is a more important enemy to everyone else in the show, I think.
I agree. I think that he is I think that he is the main villain of the show, and Haman is the main villain of Judo's.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, like Glemmy is the Wars villain, and Haman is like the New Types villain.
Yeah.
I feel like they sort of exist in these in sort of separate spheres where, you know, like I don't need. Part of me is like, okay, well, would AU have been able to win the war had it not be for Glemmy taking half of Haman's shit and them fighting amongst themselves? And like, I don't know if they'd be able to, but because of him, you know, things worked out well because Glemmy had his own faction and they were able to fucking kill him. But I think the addition of like a third faction and two of them are villains and they're fighting amongst themselves was such a fucking fun choice on the show's part.
It was really cool, and honestly, like I loved the build up to it. It wasn't unexpected. It kind of happened fast when it happened, but like you knew something was up with him. You knew he was planning something. And
like the seeds were there too.
It's weird that he kind of went so quickly from being a grunt to being like the dude, but yeah, like the plan was there all along, and it wasn't surprising.
Yeah, it felt believable. It felt natural. He was, I think, probably my favorite part of Double Zeta. Just that change up of, by the way, like, there's two bad guy factions now. And it did come up sort of abruptly, but it was certainly hinted at. You know, Glemmy's new type core ended up being a real thing. It wasn't like the most unheard of thing, but it worked out well. His inclusion was great. Pull 2 and LP Pull. Very cool for Gundam to introduce clones as a concept now too. It was weird at first.
At first when it got shown that LP Pull was a clone, or the Pull 2 was a thing. At first I was kind of dreading it. I was nervous. I have seen a lot of things have clones and it end up being bad. But I think that it worked out really well.
I was like, at first I was really worried. It's like, oh, she's 10. There's gonna be some weird like sex things about it. Not really. Like there's the whole scene where Pull 2 is like naked coming out of the tank. But as bad as that was, none of it was sexualized. Which is like, okay, that's more than I expected from Gundam.
Gundam kind of does that a lot though, where there's nudity, but it's not in a sexual context.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
It's just a thing.
It's just a thing. Yeah, you know, come to think of it, that happens like in every series pretty much. Like, you always see that because I feel like that's one of the show's benefits, that like, yeah, it doesn't get gross about that kind of thing for the most part. I'm still extremely wary when it does, because I'm like, oh no, this is when it's going to be the bad kind of, this is when something gross is going to happen. But like, it happens, it's there, but it's not the nastiest. Like, the show isn't as gross about it as it could be, and like I shouldn't be thanking the show for that, but you know, under no circumstances do you have to hand it to Yoshiyuki Tomino. I really liked Pull though. I liked how she was basically sort of became one with Judo. I liked their relationship evolve, where they had so many fights, but like eventually Judo did accept her as pretty much his sister. If he didn't say that, like, obviously the vibe is the same.
Oh, absolutely. She was his second sister for sure.
Yes. And I liked Pull 2's sort of turn at the end to becoming good, to finally becoming pulled over to Judo's side and helping him before she finally dies. Like, I think a lot of it serves to show how Judo is this character who can bring about change to people and who can bring out the best in people, because he is this archetypical good guy hero that rubs off on everyone else he's around.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like about Pull 2 was her death. It felt really out of nowhere, and like it felt like it shouldn't have happened.
Okay, I'm with you. I think I'm okay with her dying. What I'm not okay with is that we see her die. First of all, she nods off in a chair. It's not the most like, bye, this character died, you know? But the show does not, like, that's literally the last we see of her. That's the last we hear of her. Nobody says anything about it. I'm okay with her dying if she were to get, like, a funeral or what have you. But I say, oh yeah, by the way, everyone's sad about Pull 2. No, she just fucking dies, and like...
And nobody says anything.
Mm-hmm. Like, I think that works better than her being around still, because, like, Judo ends up with Lena, so he still has a sister. But I think that if she were to be around, it would be better for her to, like, kind of go off on her own and, figure out her own shit. I feel like she didn't necessarily need to be around after the ending. Like... I don't want to be so cold as to say she served her purpose and then she dies and I'm fine with it. But, like, I think the main thing we needed was just a little bit more dwelling on her death and thanking her for what she did, like, after turning good.
Or what we need is an AU sequel where Beecha and Pull 2 and some of the other people take off on their own and they grow up and they have their own, like, mercenary ship. That'd be cool.
Half of me is that's cool. Half of me is like, wait, no, Jake, we don't want to make the kids fight any more than they already have.
But that's why I said they grow up first.
They're adults, so they know better. Exactly. What a fucking just Double Zeta, really good all around, except for when it wasn't, but it was mostly good. I think that's the best you can say. Good shit. Are there any other, like, main overarching thoughts you'd like to bring up for Double Zeta?
I think we kind of covered everything that I had. I just want to stress again, watch Double Zeta.
Please watch Double Zeta. It's good. It's good, we promise. I know you have to watch 2 full anime series, like 4 seasons of TV before you get to here, but, like, when you get there, it's worth it. I promise. It's good.
Absolutely.
I'd never lead you astray, not on a podcast where everyone can get my ass afterwards. Okay, well... All right, Jake, that is segment 1. And now it is time for some more important shit to happen, because I have just begun sharing my screen.
All right, I got it.
Okay, we have our tier maker open. Tier maker, Mobile Suit Gundam, Double Zeta, Cool Robots. I make one every single season because the most important thing about the show is cool robots. And we are going to go through all of the notable quotables that we've seen in Double Zeta and find out what is the coolest, which one is lame as hell, and which ones are just fine. So, and I have organized this in largely chronological order. There might be 1 or 2 that are, like, a little bit different, but for the most part, these are all what they are. Like, these are the order you see them in, and I feel like that's the best way to sort of display them. So, and two exceptions. Obviously, if a robot has shown up in a previous series, I'm not going to include it because we already talked about it. And Haro is going to be at the top of every list. We just don't include him because, I've already been there.
He's in the triple S tier. We didn't even include the triple S tier because it's obvious.
He's untouchable. Exactly. Okay, Jake. So starting out at the first of our list, we have the Gallus J.
The Gallus J.
The Gallus J, what Mashmar used to fight Judo in Colony 1. The cool sort of like red or green with some purple-red accents. Very sharp. Our first new Xeon ship. I like it.
I like it. It's pretty solid. It's I like that, like, this is one thing I might have noticed in the episode, but I like that, one hand's got like red fingers and one hand's just like all gray. That's kind of cool looking. I believe
the red fingers are a mark of it being a prototype.
Oh yeah. Okay.
And honestly, the red fingers are my favorite part about it. I think this is like a C tier, right? Like this is or a B tier. I mean, it's fine. It's not terrible. It's not like wonderful, but I feel like it's just like it's It's good.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, so B tier. Nothing else is in so far. Next up, we have the Zissa.
I love the Zissa.
The Zissa is cool. It's very small. It's a little minion-esque. Very striking about it. First of all, half of its fucking size is like the missile pods and this gigantic fucking thruster at the back. But it's mostly legs because its head is built into its torso. It's very stubby. This thing is funky looking.
You know what it kind of makes me think of? Like, I don't think I made this association before, but it kind of makes me think of like a football player. It's just got those like huge shoulders and like it's just all like squat and I love it so much.
I like it. All right, I'm feeling A tier for this guy.
Absolutely. I was gonna get upset with you if it wasn't.
No, yeah, no, I know. All right. A tier for Zissa. Next up, we have the Gaza D, I believe.
All right.
Gaza D. Yeah, the Gaza D. It's a new type of Gaza. Not a new type, but you know what I mean. It's one of like the basic Neo Xeon grunt suits from the early, late Zeta, early Double Zeta. It's purple. It's pink. It has big old shoulder pads this time, which make it look a little bit less weird because the original Gazas didn't really have that, so it just had a strange shape to it. I think it's fine.
It can turn into like a mobile armor, which is pretty neat looking.
I think the mobile armor looks cooler than the actual mobile suit does.
Exactly what I was about to say. But overall, there's not a lot to say about it.
I'm feeling kind of C tier. It's just there, you know? It's
That's
not horrible, but it's just All right, Gaza D. Gaza D's nuts in C tier. Next up, we have the what is this guy called? The thing that what's his face used on the colony, him and Yazan.
The thing that I accidentally said something else, and you got a little. Jake, don't say that.
Oh, fuck.
But now I can't think of what it's actually called.
I know.
The Gazé.
Right?
The Gazé.
The Gazé. Yeah, you called it the Jizzy or something.
Yeah, on accident. On accident, I promise.
Yeah. The Gazé. Gazé's fun looking.
I love it. It's got the 4 arms. Each one has a different hand. And it's got that cool cockpit that's not really all that useful that spins around the middle.
Yeah, it's so silly. It still has a mono eye. It looks like a teapot. It looks like the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz.
Honestly,
it's fucking cool.
Honestly, it's one of the suits that I have thought about the most. And I think it's got to be
so weird and different.
Yeah,
I think I want to put it right below the Zissa in A tier.
Okay.
I think the Zissa is a little bit cooler, but I just love the Gazé and how funky it is. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So and for reference for people listening, I'll post the image afterwards, obviously, but when I do this, the more to the left it is, the higher up in its own tier it is. Which I think that's how most people do these tier lists. So it's ordered within the rank. All right, Jake, next up we have a big fucking heavy hitter. We have the Hama Hama.
The Hama Hama.
And you have this thing.
I have this thing. It's not built yet, but it's gonna be, and I am it's part of why I'm doing the Maxter next is because I need a little bit of a break from Master Grade
ones. Yeah,
but I'm so looking forward to it. It's big, it's green, it's got the arms on strings that we love.
Really crazy shoulders.
Oh god, I can't get enough of this guy.
I kind of want to put it at the top of A tier still.
That's exactly where I was thinking.
There's just so many really cool Xeon suits that, like, we might have to rebalance the list because we can't have everything in A tier. But, like, early on, there's some really fucking sick things.
There's some less impressive ones later on. But
yeah.
So far, we got some just awesome suits.
And speaking of awesome suits, next up we have the Arjarja. This is the suit that Karasun first showed up in. It is red, spiky. It has an actual, like, hilt where the beam saber is stored, or rather like a scabbard that the beam saber is stored into. It has really cool sort of like thruster verniers inside the shoulders that you can see. They look like little pock marks. It's fun. I like it.
It looks like they were going. Yeah, a knight is exactly what I was about to say. They were going for a knight look, and I think it's one of the first, or maybe the first mobile suit that they kind of went with the knight look for.
Yes, we'll get more. Well, I mean, the most knight mobile suit to me is all the way back in 0079, the Gyan, because it had like
the Gyan,
the triangle helmet and the shield and the spear. But like This is another very Knight-esque, and
I thought the Gyan was later, honestly.
yeah, it's a very it feels later than it is for its design. I'm feeling, I think, top of B for me. A little cooler than Gallus J, but not quite as cool as the Geze.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Top of B for the Arjarja. And next up, Jake, we have the titular Gundam Double Zeta.
Ooh, baby.
Or the Double Zeta. I believe it's the Double Zeta Gundam. I think we can both agree this is an S tier Gundam.
Oh, absolutely.
This is
Thank you.
It is an S tier Gundam. I think my favorite thing about it, it goes back to the original like Gundam face, because the Zeta didn't have that, obviously. But it has like a double V fin like the Zeta had. It is so fucking chunky. But I think one of my favorite things about it is that it's not white. It has the tricolor. It has the red, blue, yellow accents. But it's not a true white on most of it. It is like this very, very light, almost lime color. It is a very slight tinge of green. And you'll see it, you can mostly see it on the art for the full armor, which we'll get to at the end of this list. But there's something about that very slight tinge of green that I really, really love to see on the Double Zeta.
I hadn't really thought about that, but yeah, it isn't completely white.
Yeah, like if you compare it to the art of the Zeta, like on the wiki is what I have it up, like you can tell it is not the same. Like you can tell it's an actual like tinge of color.
It's off-white.
It's off, yeah. It's like a very sickly white. S rank, come on, easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
Next up, Jake. This might be contentious because we have the Zaku Zeta, which is when Ino slapped a Zaku head onto the Zeta Gundam while the Double Zeta was fighting. I want to hear where you think this should go.
Is there a double S rank?
Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Jake. I'm so glad you got there. Okay. I'm editing, not editing the chart. Can I add a new tier to this? It's my own tier list, so it might be add a row above. There we go. I'm going to add a row above, and I'm going to call it the Z tier.
There we go.
Above S tier is Z tier, and that is where the Zeta Zaku resides, because holy shit, this thing is so fun. It is so stupid. It is so silly. It is such a fun design for this robot.
It's truly the best.
It is so fucking sick. Okay, good. I'm so glad we're on the same level for this. Next up, we have the Coddle, which is a mobile worker from Moon. This is the big chunky guy, CATL.
CATL. Yeah, see. I told you we were going to get to some less memorable ones, and
it's fine? Question mark.
It's odd.
It's weird.
It's like they tried to recreate the fun of the forearms, but then they made it weird.
Its arms are like on the opposite ends of its sort of like shoulder axes. It's not a fighter, right? It's a mobile worker, so it's not meant to fight or anything. So the arms are more manipulators. It does have like a gun cannon on its head, and one of its hands ends in a gun. It just feels like they wanted to do the Geze again, but it was too soon, and I don't really care it that much.
Yeah, and like you said, it's not a fighter; it's a mobile worker. So why does it have guns?
It doesn't need guns if it's a worker? Exactly. I don't know, Jake. I think this might be our first D tier.
Yeah,
it's just kind of.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, Coddle. Your day may come later. Okay. All right. Oh, we have another fucking big boy. Next up, we have the Bawu. Bawu? What's this? When I look at Bawu, I just think, it's the Arjarja, but cooler.
Yeah.
It is the exact same color scheme. Yeah, I love the weird kanji on the front skirt armor. I like how it's that was a bad way to end my sentence. I like how its cockpit chest area is basically the Zetas. Like it has the same like flat vents and the same way like the red nail that flips up. I like the Bawu a lot. It's cool.
It's very cool. I just looked up what the kanji was for.
Yeah.
And it's a combination of the kanjis for dragon and flight.
Flying dragon. Yeah, that fucking, you know what? Sounds about right. I agree. What do you think? I'm thinking maybe above the Arjarja in B?
Okay, yeah. Like we said, it's a cooler Arjarja.
It's the Arjarja, but better. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Now we have the Gazome. And the Gazome is, I think we first saw, what was his name? The guy who was always hanging with Mashmer and Kara, who got killed eventually.
Oh,
Gotten,
yeah.
The Gazome, it is hard to spell. Gazowmn is how you spell it. Or Ga-Zome. It's like, it's weird, right? It feels like a sort of an evolution side stage of a Dom. It's like a Dom, but thinner a little bit.
Yeah, and it does got the mobile armor mode, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, the mobile armor is like, it looks like a dog jumping, almost.
Yeah, it sure does.
It's strange. Yeah, this one is like...
I'd say high C.
I think high C is good. Yeah, it's cooler than a Gaza D. It's the Gazas are together, which is more important. That's good. That's good to me. We got it. Jake, we got another fucking big boy because we have Pulse Cublé.
Ooh, man.
This is tough. So I don't always include color variants, but if they're really important, I will. And obviously a dark plum and pink Cublé has to be on that list, because look at it.
They took the Cublé and they're like, but what if goth?
What if it was goth? Maybe this is me trying to speak to the fun bit of it, but what if it was right next to the double Zeta?
Okay, yeah.
Judo and Pull are basically siblings. We shouldn't separate them.
All right, I like it.
The bit has to continue. I'm gonna put it below the double Zeta because come on, it's the double. Like
it's the double
I feel like
Zeta.
The novelty of the Cublé is a little bit less now that we've been seeing a lot of them around. Double Zeta is just like, come on. Good. Okay. Next up, we have the Drysen, which is the actual evolution of the Dom. If you like don't know, it might be hard to tell the difference between the Dom and the Drysen.
Yeah,
because they have pretty much the same shapes. They have like the flared out arms and legs, but the Drysen is purple instead of black, and still has the red around the face. It has some yellow. It has the sort of Xeon crest on the cockpit. It has these cool. I like the purple and dark blue color scheme it has going on to it. It is a very cool Naginata, which is very fun.
I am a sucker for a Naginata. For
anything like on a stick, right?
Yeah, like in Bravely Default, spears are my favorite weapon group.
Yeah, dude. Oh, what a fun game. Yeah,
Okay, so you know what? If it weren't for the Naginata, I'd say like maybe low B, but I'm thinking like high B.
I'm thinking high B too. Let's put it. How about we put it between the Baowu and the Arjarja?
That sounds good to me.
All right, yeah, that's where you belong, Drysen. Congratulations. Now we have, and we're gonna be in for the most part. This is like where we get a little because we have the Zaku Mariner, which is a Zaku 2, but a little more like aqua colored, dark green, teal, some yellow. Has an antenna, has a more sort of bubbly head. It's a Zaku, you know?
Yeah, it's not much to say about it because it's basically just like another color of a Zaku.
Mm-hmm.
I think C.
I think C, yeah. Let's put it... I kind of want to put it at the bottom of C, to be honest.
That's fair.
It's like I've seen Zakus. I love the Zakus, but I've just seen so many, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, this next one, Jake, is also really, really good. We have the Kapool.
The Kapool.
We got the little ball.
Oh, God, I love this guy.
This guy is fun.
I know that like we weren't super thrilled about the Mariner Zaku, but I'm a sucker for underwater stuff. Like, like naval mobile suits. I always am drawn to them, and this guy was in some really good episodes.
Yeah,
and he's just got that really cool gimmick of turning into a ball and zipping across the water.
Fuck yeah! No, the Kapool rules. I'm feeling A tier.
Absolutely. Maybe
let's put it
between the Zissa and the Gazé.
Yeah, let's put it there. Okay, yeah. Like mid to low A tier is good. Fuck yeah. Now we have the Desert Zaku, which is, you guessed it, it's a Zaku, but it's sand colored because it's in the desert. It has like a sort of swept back antenna, and it's brown, It's fucking. It's like, I don't know. It's just like it's like a little bit less cool than this Mariner because I like the colors on the Mariner a little bit more.
Yeah, I'd say D above the Caudal.
Yeah. D tier. Sorry, Zaku. These next two kind of can go together. It's the Dwaj and the Dwaj Custom. These are the guys that Rommel Core used, which is basically a fucking Dom, but desert colored. I think the Dwaj Custom is a lot cooler because it has like a lot more red and it has these like cool like double antenna setup. But they're both just like
these are also desert suits like the Desert Zaku, but they're a lot cooler.
They're a lot cooler, yeah.
They're
I think
better designed for sure.
I want to put it maybe between the Gaza D and the Zaku Mariner in like low C tier.
Okay.
Maybe the Dwaj Custom. How about this? The regular Dwaj goes between the Zaku Mariner and the Gaza D, but the Dwaj Custom can go between the Gazome and the Gaza D.
Okay, that's fair.
We can separate them because the Dwaj Customs I think is a little bit cooler.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of cool, we have fucking the Gym 3. Do you care about this fucking guy at all, Jake?
I don't give a shit about a gym.
No, like, fucking bottom of D, go to hell.
There's some gyms that are cool, but like this is just
guy.
Regular gym with a coat of paint.
He's cool. I like the teal color, but it's a gym. Come on, enough of this dude. Oh god,
it's no gym sniper.
It's no gym sniper. And we got another cool guy though. We are at the Ewak Zack.
Oh man, the Ewak Zack. This is the reconnaissance mobile suit that has the big old dish for a head that they used to like basically spy on the like they basically used it to spy, and
yes,
it's really cool.
It is. This guy is so cool. I love his weird, goofy, giganto disc head. I like how the actual like sort of mouthpiece, as it were, on the Ewak Zack is different. I think I'm feeling maybe like mid B tier,
right smack in the middle.
Right smack in the middle. Why not?
Yeah,
that fits. Now we're at another contentious pick. We are at the Zaku 3. The big chunky Zaku. This is specifically the gray one that Rakan used. I like it. I like how big and chunky and evil looking it is. It looks mean,
it's menacing.
It is. I
think high B.
I think high B. I think at the top of B, honestly.
Yeah.
Top of B. Good. Okay. We have the Re-Gelgu next, which is Ilya Pazam's machine, the Gelgu with the fuck huge shoulder pads.
the Gelgug that saw a Kublai and was like, "Ooh, I like that."
Why can't I have it? It's like, I like the colors. I really like the dark red on really dark blue. The sort of like yellow or the green like orb on the cockpit is great. It's fun, you know?
Yeah,
I think it's strange, but it works for what it is.
Yeah.
How you feeling for this one?
I'm thinking either high C or low B.
Let's do high C so we can sort of match them up. I think I like it a bit more than the Gazome.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, high C. That's good. And now we have the Jamaru Finn. I don't know, Jake. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up a picture of him. I don't remember the Jamaru Finn a whole lot, honestly. Oh, here it is.
It was the 3D Squadron guys.
Oh, yeah, those guys. Well,
yeah, there's not a whole lot to talk about. They're just kind of
Yeah, it turns into a plane. It's kind of neat.
I think maybe it's the coolest thing in D tier.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's fine. It's just not as exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have a fucking freaky little man. We got the Agu guy. The Agu guy, which we saw in the courtyard of fucking, what's his face? Tiger Bomb. This thing is like, as much as I love bugs, it's kind of scary looking.
Yeah, I don't know. I really like it. It's just kind of a goofy little... I think if it weren't for its little tentacle hands, I wouldn't care about it at all. Mm-hmm. But it's got those little tentacle hands, and it's just kind of fun.
It's it's gross, but I like it. It's like a gross out toy as a kid. You're like, oh, this is gross. I want to keep on playing with it. Yeah, no, I think I'm with you. I think I like how weird and nasty it is. I
just looked at its page, and those tentacles are heat rods, like Ron Burrell had.
Oh shit! Fuck yeah! Oh, it's like a bunch of heat rods. Oh, that rules. I like that. That's fun. Okay. I don't know. Where should we put this? I feel like I'm okay with putting it pretty high up.
Honestly, me too.
Maybe bottom of A, honestly?
Yeah?
It might be a little too generous, but we can work on it later. We can see how we feel when the whole thing's complete. Because I think it's like, let's put it next to the Gezi, because they're both just like weird fucking guys.
Just goofy dudes being goofy bros.
Exactly. And now we have Pole 2's Cublé, which is the red and yellow Cublé. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's the classic Char color scheme of red and gold. Mm-hmm. There's nothing not to like about it. I'd say maybe it's not as cool as LP Poles. Maybe like A tier between the Hama and the Zissa.
Let's do that. Yeah, it's cool, but like I've been seeing almost too many Cublés by now. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. This is an interesting one. Next up, we have the Game Ulk, which is Kara's final suit, which is that big fucking chunky red guy with like just the beams out the ass. Everywhere is beams on this thing.
It's fucking Disco Ball Gundam.
It is huge. It has a very interesting mono eye. The way like the thunder. That's fun. The way like the mono eye sort of like slot is kind of clasped together. I love the big old fin up front. I think it's weird. Heels, I like it's like red, dark red, and like indigo colors. This thing is pretty neat.
Yeah, we're talking about the eye. It's got these little like details around the mono eye as well.
Yeah, I like the almost like tattoos.
Yeah. That just makes it even cooler to me. I think it's hard to place because
I think we're good at putting. I think B tier is how I'm feeling.
Yeah. Now where at in B tier?
I think I might want to put it right below Zaku 3.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
It's cool. I
cool.
like putting it, we have it next to a red suit. We have it next to another like evil suit. It's fun. It's like it hasn't done a whole lot to endear itself to me right now, so I don't think it can go any higher than this. Now we have the Gaz L and Gaz R.
These guys are really neat as a gimmick. They're really neat together, but separate, I don't feel anything about them.
I don't fucking care. First of all, I hate their heads. I hate the Galbaldi head. I think it is hideous. I think it's stupid looking. I really don't like it. Although it'd be kind of funny. What if we put the Gaz L at the left of D tier and the Gaz R at the right of D tier? Like it has a fun bit.
I like
bookends.
It. I like
They're
it.
bookends. Good. Okay. Yeah. The fans will understand. Now we have the Shuzram Diaz, which is I think it's like an artillery type Rick Diaz that we see for like a fucking split second outside of the, I think it's an Axis where Haman and Manevar hang out in the like the manor. I don't know, Jake. I don't care about this guy either.
I don't, but I really, really like his, just big ol' shoulders, or not shoulders, but like his big old backpack.
It's a very big backpack, and like even looking at it from behind, like the rear view, you can even like it is fucking massive.
I am a big fan of that, and I think maybe right above the Zaku Mariner.
Okay, that's good. I like that. That's good
because it's not the greatest.
That's a good place for it.
But that part is pretty darn cool.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Like it elevates it. And now we have the Zaku 3 Custom, which is what Mashmer used as his final suit. And it is a Zaku 3 with like the sort of very dark green colors with some red accents. It has like a really fucking big skirt behind it on its back, on its butt. It has big old tanks on the back too. It is funky.
It's really neat. I was kind of disappointed that his final suit was a Zaku. But like the more I've grown, or the more I've like become like okay with that, the more I've like really liked his Zaku 3.
Yes.
I don't like it as much as the gray Zaku 3.
No, yeah. The gray color scheme is very cool. You really don't see that many like plain non-colored mobile suits.
And the gray one is like just the spikes are bigger. It's just kind of more menacing.
Yeah. I think maybe like mid B tier.
Mid B, yeah.
I think above, but maybe between the Bawu and the Dryson.
Okay.
It's like, yeah, it's cool, but it's not as cool as the gray one.
Yeah. So it can't go above that.
Yeah. Speaking of cool, Queen Mansa.
Oh.
Big boy season.
Mm-hmm.
I
think it goes...
You might have to... Yeah? Let me hear.
I think it goes top of A tier, because I think it's cooler than the Hama Hama, but I don't think it's cool enough to be an S tier.
Okay, that's good. I was gonna say S tier from the get-go, but I'm okay. Very top of A is very good for me. It is just so fucking...
It's amazing.
Chonky. And now we have the Dovin Wolf, which is the crazy-looking, spiky, teal, red, yellow dude from, like, pretty much the end of Double Zeta.
This is what Rakan and his homies were piloting.
Yeah. This thing is weird. It's like based off the Psycho, you can tell, with the weird belly button cannons. This I like it. I like the Dovin Wolf a lot. I really, really like it.
I don't care for it too much. I don't dislike it, but it's it's an okay suit.
We can we can meet in the middle, I think. I mean, we can maybe put this... I know B tier's getting a little crowded, but I think we can stick it in B somewhere.
You know what?
Maybe like on the lower end of B?
I was thinking, we said we're going to meet in the middle. What if we put it right smack in the middle of B? We've got enough suits in B to give it an even split.
Great. Okay, yeah. Between the Zaku 3 and the Dryson. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. We're down to 2. We have the Cublé mass production type.
What if it got clown shoes and just got a little bit twisted? Just shows up on the battlefield and starts kind of twerking.
Yeah, it has it has pointy clown shoes. It's all gray. It has a cool, like, big antenna. Its face is, like, different looking. It has, like, 2 really thin fuel rods in the back of it. I don't know. I think at this point I'm like, okay, there are too many Cublés. You know?
Yeah, that's fair.
I think by now I am tired of all the Cublés. Where to put it though?
I think
So I don't think it's as cool as Pull 2's Cublé.
No.
But it is I do like the color scheme a lot. I like that it's all gray. I like that it's like a boring color for a very funky looking robot.
And I really like the lore behind it.
Yeah.
Like that makes me like it a lot more.
Do you want to put it at the bottom of A tier?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. It's nice and even.
Right under our funky little guy.
Exactly, right under the Agu guy. And finally, the last one, Jake, is the Double Zeta full armor. I don't know how I feel about it.
I really like big, chunky mobile suits, but this one kind of feels like it would have a hard time moving around.
That's the thing. It's almost like... Yeah... I don't know. I like that the Double Zeta is so big and chunky, but I feel like the armor, it's hard to make out what is the robot and what is the armor, you know?
Yeah. I'd say it's still the Double Zeta. It's still really cool. I'd say it's got to go somewhere in A tier, I think.
Somewhere in A tier is good. We can put it... How about... Let's separate the funky guys. Let's put it between the Geze and the Agu guy.
That's fair.
It's like breaking up a fight between them because they're nasty guys and they don't know how to behave. And it looks like that might be it. We have in Z tier, the Zeta Zaku. We have in S tier, the Double Zeta and Pulse Cublé. In A tier, we have the Queen Mansa, the Hama Hama, Pull 2's Cublé, the Zissa, the Kapul, the Geze, Full Armor Double Zeta, the Agu guy, and the Cublé Mass Production type. In B tier, we have the Zaku 3, the Gaymalk, the Bawu, Zaku 3 Custom, Dovin Wolf, Dryson, Ewak, Zak R, Jarja, and Gallus J. C tier, we have the Rigelgu, the Gazom, the Dawaj Custom, the Gaza D, the regular Dawaj, the Shuzrum Dias, and the Zaku Mariner. And lastly, D tier, we have the Gaz L, the Jamru Finn, the Zaku Desert type, the Coddle, the Jim 3, and the Gaz R. I'm pretty happy with this list, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
I think we might have done it. I think this might be it.
I think this is the definitive end all be all.
You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first. No, this is good. I am quite pleased. I think this is. I think we've done it. Good. Cool robots, Jake. Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
And now we have our final segment because we're getting on time. We got questions to go through. Our fans, our wonderful, wonderful fans, have sent us in a bunch of questions on our mailbag. I post this at like the last week of the recording. We get a lot of fun things in, and I'm able to check all this stuff out. So, first, I'll go through Twitter. I'll read the questions from the Twitter. We have two. Twitter.com @Walco Podcast. Double Zeta Plant @Double Zeta Plant asks us, what is the best new mobile suit and why is it the Zaku 3 Custom? Well, Double Zeta Plant, I'll have you know it's actually the Zaku Zeta.
Yeah, it's the Zaku Zeta.
But
the Zaku 3... Wait, did they say the Zaku 3 Custom?
They said the Custom.
Buddy, you gotta know that the Zaku 3 regular is cooler than the Zaku 3 Custom. It's canon.
It's canon. But you know what? It's still a very cool robot mobile suit. I accept it. I allow this.
Like honestly, I don't think with maybe the exception of I don't think there's any bad mobile suits that we judged. I think there's some that are worse than others, but I don't think there's any bad ones. Yeah,
okay, yeah. There's no bad mobile suit except for some of them in different series, probably.
Well, just that we talked about today.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's good. No, yeah, that's good. I'll accept that. That's good. Thank you, Double Zeta Plant. Next up, Chief Executive Malfunction @I Appreciate Your Butt asks, what was your favorite episode to record and why?
Ooh,
honestly,
that's a good one.
I think it was the finale, last week's episode.
That one was really good.
It was. I feel like that's when we really started to get good at talking about like the themes, characters, and facts of the show. But it was also the finale. So much shit happened that was so fun to talk about. It was a very fun shared experience for me, I think.
This is kind of like related to the question, but my favorite like bit or like my favorite thing that we've said that I like just think about a lot is Beecha being a fan of
oh my god, Kid Rock. Don't remind me.
God, that cracked me up so hard. And then when I listened to the episode again, I fucking died laughing.
God, evil. And she also asks, if y'all had your own robot, what would your robot look like? And what is its special thing, like special weapon or power or feature?
Ooh, mine would definitely be an aquatic robot. It would have like a... Ooh. It would have like a beam trident. I don't even know how it would really work.
Yo, that'd be sick though! Oh, that'd be really sick though. I would like that a lot. That fucking rules. Very good. Mine, okay, I'm not gonna fucking get into what my dream robot would be, but I would love a robot that has not like a V-fin, but sort of like beetle horn. Like an Atlas beetle or something. You know, like more reminiscent of that. Which I guess, like, the V-fin is based on samurai helmets, which are based on beetle horns already, so it, like, goes all the way back to the beginning. But it would be really fucking cool if it could do... This is me just showing my ass completely, but it would be really cool if it had, like, big, bulky backpack and, like, big, thick arms, and the arms could split apart and have two on each side, like fucking General Grievous.
Oh, hell yeah.
That'd be fucking cool, man. I can get 4 beam sabers. That would be sick.
That would be really awesome.
I guess, you know what? I'm thinking of the fucking Gusion rebake from Iron Blooded Orphans. It does that.
Ooh.
Oh, well.
I just thought of something cool for my aquatic suit.
Uh-huh.
They're like funnels, but they kind of look like piranhas and they like shoot out. And
That's so good.
They just basically tear apart the mobile suit. They don't like shoot anything. They have like
they're like physical funnels.
They have like grinders or like some kind of blade on them, and they just like
fuck yeah. Oh, that's so good. Like little buzzsaws. I love that. Oh, that's sick. That fucking rules.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the Twitter questions. We go to the Double Zeta Midbug channel on Discord. We can like pass this off. Let's take turns on these ones.
All right. So Rue XL thoughts.
This is asked by Arsner's Goof Custom.
Yes.
In Discord. I think that was I think Rue and L are a better pair than Rue and Judo and Ellen Beecha.
Yeah. I don't know. I definitely want like to see them together because I really like the two of them together.
Mm-hmm. They have very good chemistry together. They have very good like moments on screen.
But then I'm like thinking about the longevity of the relationship. I think they drive each other crazy eventually.
That's a good point. Yeah, no, they get together, but they can't fucking stand to be around each other for more than like 2 days. That's good. Absolutely. I like it, but I don't think it can last. I think they're too.
They butt heads
too
hard.
They're too intense for each other. Yeah. Okay. Next question from Cass, friend of the show, Dragon Quest Hero Rocket Crime. Who's telling Frau?
Not it. 1, 2, 3, not it.
Beans. No, now it's my responsibility. I have to fucking tell Frau that her husband and her adoptive son are killed in battle because she didn't fucking know that fucking Cats died in Zeta, and now she has to be told that Hayato died too.
Fuck.
Oh
Make
my
Bright
god. Make Bright do it. Yeah, honestly, Bright has to atone for so much shit. Might as well make him tell her that too. God. Ridiculous. Yeah, fucking. All right. What's next, Jake?
All right. From former host Colin Pagedish, they ask, if you could juice anyone in Gundam so much that they explode, a la Mashmer, who are you giving the super soup?
Oh, boy, what a question.
That's... Ooh.
First of all, not Bright.
No.
As much as I want Bright to, like, disappear, I don't want him to get soup in that event. He does not deserve it.
No, definitely not.
Oh, no, I know the answer, Jake.
What is it?
It's gotta be Jared. I gotta give my boy Jared the Wario pill.
Give it to Yazan and he just can capture all the pigs before
no,
exploding.
You give it to Yazan, Jake, nothing happens. Yazan's like immune. He can't be souped. He's too spicy. He's too evil. It cannot be Yazan. No way.
No, I think Jared's a good pick.
It's good. I just love Jared. I think Jared, as much as he deserves just a normal, nondescript death we don't dwell on, would be so fucking funny if he like went completely apeshit because his mommy GF abandoned him again or something. Oh, God. Next up, from Stephen Moore, friend of the show, at Morsh Marcello in Discord. What is everyone's favorite ZZ Top song?
I don't know a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
The only ZZ Top song that, like, besides Lagrange that you used for the intro, that pops into my head is, and I don't even know if this is ZZ Top, honestly, but is Sharp Dressed Man. And
that is ZZ Top.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't even necessarily like that song. It's just the only one I can think of.
Right, yeah, no, ZZ Top's certainly not in my wheelhouse. I like Give Me All Your Lovin'. That's a fun song.
Oh, okay, I know that one.
Yeah. Give me all your lovin', all your hugs and kisses too. Yeah, they're good driving music, I think, you know? It's good songs to fucking take an afternoon drive to.
But I think my answer is going to have to be Lagrange, because it's always going to make me think of this.
Exactly. What's next, Jake?
All right, from Squeeg, they ask, I haven't finished Double Zeta yet. Could you explain to me everything that happens in the back half without spoiling anything? Thank you in advance.
Okay. War crimes, clones,
Trauma,
soup, and Jupiter.
That's just about it.
That's about it. That's all you really need. Now congratulations. You're all caught up. You can watch Star's Counterattack now. Okay. Next up, from friend of the show, Sarah, future host of Iron Blooded Orphan, Sun Hat Genia asks, well, that's not really a question, but she says, my face when y'all are finished with Double Zeta, I'm still only halfway through Zeta. And she posted the fucking Tony Kornheiser panic emoji. Very good. Okay, here we go. Our next question is from Real, down below the Hamon photo. If you could read that.
I know it's an easy thing to go back and say what you would have done different, but you both clearly didn't like Moon Moon. How would you go about changing / replacing Moon Moon whilst keeping the importance of Rosara dying later in the show?
I think that, honestly, it was better when they showed up on the Nail Argama, like as refugees, and just kind of talk about vibes and shit.
Yeah.
I think that, like, if somehow they were like a refugee in their abandoned ship, and like maybe Mashmer and Gotten and Kara, or I guess Mashmer's gone by then. Like if Gotten and Kara were on the ship, and if the Argamas crew was on the ship, and like it wasn't this weird tribal society, but it was more like if the characters just kind of got to talk with each other and discuss, and you could still have the sort of like the politics of Rosara and Sarasa disagreeing with each other at that point in time. I think that would have worked better. Basically, take all of the tribalism out of Moon, because clearly, like, the show does not know how to sensitively handle that topic.
Not at
but
all.
Make it no. But make it more like an ideological discussion with all the characters being able to like talk with each other without fucking fighting. I think that would be a lot more interesting to me, and I wouldn't feel so fucking grossed out watching it. What are you thinking?
I think that I feel like you can't take out them meeting them and like getting to know them, because it was really good for Mondo. So I think that I think you still have them go to the colony. Maybe it's been forgotten, and instead of them being like, tribalism and we reject all technology, maybe make it like they're trying to survive having been forgotten.
Oh.
And make them like they're running low on supplies, they're running low on power maybe. Mm-hmm. And so you still get that low-tech colony, but you get rid of some of the bad stuff out of there.
I quite like that. No, that's good. That's like...
And then you have the two factions maybe disagreeing about how to do it. How, like maybe one of them is doing something that the other one thinks is morally wrong or something.
Yeah, like one of them wants to like siphon power off of other ships or something, and the other wants to like... Oh, yeah, okay, no, that's cool. I like that. Because you definitely would still be able to have more of like that division and making them different rather than just people who are stranded in space.
Yeah.
Like, see, you can make that kind of politics in Gundam without making it fucking tribalism. It's not that hard. We literally did it in like 5 minutes.
Let us fix Gundam.
We're just a couple of guys. Never change Gundam.
Never
you
at
fucking
all.
suck. Rio also asks, out of whatever Gundam series you have watched, either for the show or casually, what flavor of soup do you assign to each? Let's just go first 3 UC shows, I think is like the easiest way. Like, I could talk about Iron-Blooded Orphans, but that soup is fucking like, there's something gross about that soup. I won't touch that one yet. What? Okay.
I think that we got to get Double Zeta out of the way and say that it's definitely the chunkiest soup.
It is. Double Zeta is like... Double Zeta is a can of Campbell's chunky.
Yeah.
It's like, it is nice and hearty. It's good comfort food. It's not like, you can just crack open a can of that and drink, like, not drink it, but, heat it up and consume it. Like, it's not super challenging. It's like, funny, and it eases you into it. And like, when you do get the new type moments, it's like, oh shit, like crazy fucking nonsense happens. I think it's definitely got to be chunky. Zeta, I think. Zeta's more complex. Zeta really like is darker. It's more mature. It's like a more exhausting experience sometimes. Yeah.
I had a thought.
Hit me.
So with Zeta, you can definitely like go through it and just like watch it and whatever, and like not have it make that much of an impact on you. But I think that if you put into it, you get a lot out of it. And what's a soup that you have to put stuff into? Pho.
It's pho.
Because they just give you the broth, and then you have to put what you want into it. And the more and the more you put into it, and the more that you get it how you like it, the more you're going to get out of it.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, Jake, that's so fucking choice. And it's like you get pho, and you're like, oh, well, like, I'll have pho. Like, I don't think it's gonna be that filling with spears, but then you're fucking stuffed afterwards. Like, pho is always deceptively filling. It at the end, you're like, that was insane. That was so much, but it was satisfying. It was so good. And oh, Jake, that's so perfect. I love that. That's good. That's so good. Oh, you know what? 0079. It's the OG. It's like, you think of Gundam. It is the very original. It is the touch point. It is the beginning of it all. When you think of the most basic normal soup, what do you think of, Jake?
Chicken noodle.
It's gotta be chicken noodle soup. Thank you. I'm glad that we got
yeah.
there. It's chicken noodle. It's good soup. It's classic soup. It's like something that everyone can agree is like, you're not always in the mood for chicken noodle soup, but like when you're feeling sick, when you're feeling down, that is like the soup that you need. It is like such a touch point of soup. I think it works for being the 0079 soup, you know?
I think so.
All right. And I believe Riel has another question for us.
Yes. If you had to choose one of the Shangri-La kids to turn traitor and join Glimmy, which would it be and why?
Huh.
I think for my answer, I'm gonna go with Beecha. Take Beecha's journey from earlier when he was thinking about turning traitor and then didn't, and have him go full ham into being a traitor. And it fucks Mondo up. Mondo returns back to the Argama, and he's like, I couldn't hang. He's doing shit that is not okay. And have Beecha go full evil.
Oh yeah, Beecha's like, fuck all y'all.
You take Beecha and Mondo both trying to become bad guys, and then Beecha does, but Mondo is like, nope, fuck this.
Yeah, okay, no, that could be very interesting. When they're actually definitively enemies to each other, that would be cool.
Yeah. And then Mondo can later try to turn Beecha back.
Because they're buddies. Yeah. Oh, that's quite nice. I was kind of thinking, what if it was Eno?
Ooh.
You wouldn't expect it, but I feel like Eno's whole thing is that he's so easily forgotten about. He's always so easily pushed aside. He never gets to do anything important. He's always sort of in the background, and I feel like you could definitely see Eno starting to get fed up with how he's just sort of on the back burner all the time by everyone, and Glemmy is giving him a chance to be important and make a difference. And something about Glemmy's ideology could appeal to Eno in some way that I can't imagine right now, but I feel like that could work just because Eno doesn't get to do a whole lot, so it would be cool to see him have to have that crisis of I can join the bad guys and I'll be able to do something and be someone and be important for once, because no one else gives me that opportunity.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Aw. Come back, Eno. You're good.
Eno, come back.
Eno. You can blame it all on me. Okay. Big question from friend of the show, Jojo F's. So Keythron is a dude who, 95% of modern fans don't know exists until the end of Double Zeta, but was straight up in Zeta and end of Double Zeta treats as a big character that everyone knows. I assume this might have to do with the mountain of printed supplementary material and interviews all in Japanese that doesn't exist in the reality or minds of modern and non-Japanese fans, having tons of info on characters that the show doesn't highlight but treats as known. To me, this makes it feel like a lot of the gulf of modern Western Gundam fandom and classic Japanese fandom comes down to a constellation of sources we have no access to. While texts are analyzable and in and of themselves, how does this possibility inform and problematize the certainty of your Gundam interpretations? So I think that was a fucking landmine of a question, but basically they're asking how does knowing that there's a lot of shit that we'll never really be able to get to read that could potentially change our viewpoint make us feel?
So I'm instantly brought to Star Wars and all of the extended universe. It's not that I can't read it though, but I'm not going to. And I know that there's some really good stuff in there, and I know there's a lot of information that would probably change how I view the movies. Mm-hmm. But you got I don't know. It's kind of what it made me think of was that question. But I think that it's almost kind of like Death of the Author, except it's Death of the supplementary material.
Sure. Okay. So that's interesting to me because I think that's a very valid way of looking at it, where it's you don't need all of it. You can just watch what the most important stuff and get your takeaway from it. And I think that's true for the most part. What I circle back to is when we learn from Cass posting an interview link that Glemmy and Pol are half siblings because they're all Kieran's kids.
That's true. Yeah.
Or Dozel's kids or whatever. And that's I like that I know that now, but I feel like I'm with you in that knowing that if I didn't know that, I would have a different read on Glemmy. I don't think that necessarily lessened my view of him or of Double Zeta in general. I feel like certainly the lack of that information being available is more of a detriment than it is a boon. But at the same time, there's so much, and Tomino clearly loves just saying whatever the fuck he wants about the characters and series he makes that I think it might be a blessing in disguise that that's not all out there, because I feel like it could kind of get out of hand with so much conflicting information. And that's kind of the reason why, going back to Star Wars, why Disney made their own thing so they can make stuff up without having to have this entire fucking like wall of lore that they have to constantly reference and keep things like in check with, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm glad that we get some of it, but I don't think we need all of it, you know?
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, JoJo Fs. What's next, Jake?
Next, Arsner's Goof Custom asks, Tomino apparently regrets killing Haman. Thoughts? I think Tomino is wrong. I think that if Haman didn't die, there would have been a weird non-closure to the ending. Unless
because
something
Haman can't
drastic
just say,
happened.
right? Yeah, Haman can't just say, "Oh, Judo, you're right. You convinced me. Congratulations!" and everyone claps. No, like it has to be climactic. It has to be definitive. I think she has to die. I think that. I don't know. Like, I also kind of like the way she died, too. Because she's like, oh, shit. Oh, fuck. I was kind of wrong the entire time. Or rather, I was never going to be able to win. So I'm just going to kill myself. I feel like that's an end for someone as bombastic as her. Who makes such a fucking entrance and has such a presence. Where she's like, damn, I can't fucking... This kid has, like, made me realize that I can't convince everyone. So I might as well fucking die. I think I like how she died. And I think I like that she died. And I don't...
And her being the one responsible for how she died is, I think, really powerful, and I don't think I would change it at all.
Yeah, I think we both prefer Haman to die,
which I hate saying because I love Haman, but
I know, but like I think it's also telling that we love her so much that we're willing to let her go.
Yeah. You love her, let her go.
Okay. Next up, previous host of the show, Sarah McCostumes at Clementine Kesh in Discord. So, if there was one city on Earth you could wipe off the map, leaving a perfect circle of its absence behind, which would it be? Important to note, no one dies in this scenario. Everyone gets evacuated and displaced safely in time.
Huh.
Bye-bye, Washington, D.C.
Okay. I was about to say, like, nowhere. I couldn't imagine actually doing that. But, like, you know what? Nope, that's a good pull. I like that. Yep.
I like LP pull is a good pull. No,
best pull.
living in Nova, D.C. is a fun enough place, but God, that city, it does something unspeakable to me. I want it gone. It's just the fucking vibe I get from it. It is really good food and cool places to hang out, but, like, the museums, aside from that, I don't give a shit. Fuck it.
That would leave for an interesting future too. Like just seeing what it would happen after that. But anyways,
I'm sorry. What are you thinking, Jake? What are you going to get rid of?
I don't know. I couldn't come up with one, and I had read through all these just to become kind of familiar with them, and this one stumped me. I spent a lot of time thinking about it, and I was like, aside from like something goofy, I couldn't really think of one. But I think that you got it right on the head there. I think that was
TC.
I think that's actually the right answer.
Yeah. Okay. What is our next question?
Jojo F's asks, what would be the overall effect of switching out Rosamia's second appearance in Moon Moon between series, such that right before the final Zeta battle, Camille dealt with the weird neo-native bullshit, and the transition from sitcom Double Zeta to serious Double Zeta was the Gundam team tearfully murdering Rosamia?
Oh.
Ooh.
I feel like... I don't know. Like, because I don't want to make Zeta worse, because Zeta's so fucking good. I don't want to have Zeta be saddled with fucking Moon Moon, but at the same time, it would be very cool for, like, oh shit, Rosamia's back. We have to fucking kill her. Like, huh...
I think that it might actually lessen Double Zeta too, though, because most of the Double Zeta characters are gonna be like, "Who's this?" And then also you're not gonna get Mondo and Rosara's relationship or any of Mondo's which most of Mondo's character building is tied into the Moon Moon stuff.
True.
So I think it might be worse for both, but it's
okay.
Unless, I don't know.
No, I think you know what? I think as bad as Moon Moon is, it is deliberately paced in Double Zeta so that like it would be. I don't want to say the show would be worse off without Moon Moon, but I feel like Moon Moon sets things up for the future that are more important, that are like valuable enough to keep Moon Moon where it is. Again, I wish Moon Moon was like the way that we said it, where it was like some derelict ship and it was a different problem and it didn't have any fucking tribalism, nativism. But I think Moon Moon in some shape or form needs to be in Double Zeta.
Yeah.
I don't think Rosa Mia needed to be in Zeta, for the record, but like that worked. That worked as it did, so you know. What's done is done. It was a show from the fucking 80s. I wasn't even born yet, so you know how it is. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Jojo also said, what if we put Tiger Bomb Garden into the Hell Dimension where it belongs? Yep. We did not need Tiger Bomb. Fuck that.
I am applauding.
Goodbye. Yeah. Andy asks, friend of the show, hey, the war is over. We did it. Peace at last. Everything is fine now, except we have all these spare robots laying around. What would you use all these extra robots for in peacetime to improve society somewhat? G Gundam fans do not interact.
Giant pizzas. They'd open up a giant robot-sized pizzeria, and just you'd get giant pizzas.
Big pizza. I was gonna say we could they're nuclear powered, right? And for the we don't really see, or no, I guess they're like H3 powered too. Either way, we don't see like any energy scarcity issues in Gundam. But I feel like we could use all these robots to fucking rebuild and fix up like all of the colonies, because by now fucking every single colony has had some horrible event happen to it.
Yeah, that's true.
I think we should use the robots because you know the beginning of mobile suits was mobile workers, and the mobile workers were used to build colonies and whatnot. So I feel like we should use them to once again bolster our space infrastructure, or maybe just fucking help clean Earth. You can probably like fucking fix up Earth, terraform it, get the desert back to a manageable state with mobile suits. Because the Earth is dying. And that's the plot of like half the fucking series so far.
They do talk a lot about the Earth being polluted and that actually could probably really help out a lot.
Yeah. Please. Okay.
Definitely more helpful than giant pizza. True. For everybody.
Yeah. Okay, what's next?
Real asks, what is the perfect size for a cool robot? Should it be big like the Psycho or standardized like the Gundams and Zaku's?
Nope. I think 20 meters is the perfect robot height. For reference, like the Psycho is 40 meters tall. The Zeta Gundam is 19.85 meters tall specifically, but I think the original Gundam is like 18 meters tall, 18 and a half. I think 20 is like the sweet spot.
Yeah. Except I've seen a show where there was robots so big they could throw galaxies around.
Oh, that's a good point, Jay.
No, I think you're right. I think that about like a little bit bigger than the than Grandpa Gundam is probably right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 20. It's got to be 20. Okay, next up. Okay, Colin Patchadish asks, now that we've seen the Gundam, Zeta Gundam, and Double Zeta Gundam, pitch me on what the Triple Zeta Gundam is. They specifically mean... they mean it both ways eventually. They mean it. What is the Zeta Gundam, the Triple Zeta robot, and what is the Triple Zeta show? So let's start with the robot.
I have a stupid answer.
Hit me.
So bulky, it's basically a ball with little nubs of arms and feet. It just gets bulkier and bulkier.
Yeah. No, I was going to say another stupid answer. What if it's like a sort of Megazord of all the Gundams thus far?
Yo, yes, actually.
Like the Double Zeta breaks apart, the Zeta breaks apart, the Gundam breaks apart, and they all combine into some fucking horrible, nasty Frankenstein of the Triple Zeta.
And it's got 3 heads. Like
it's got 3 heads. And also
it's like Ghidorah.
The butthole cannon. The butthole cannon is where the butthole is on the robot.
Thank you absolutely, so much. Definitely.
Okay. What is this? What would Triple Zeta be?
Like this is the one for the show.
Like a sequel to Double Zeta. Yes.
I think. So I think that we skip ahead a bit into the future. It's not a direct sequel like Double Zeta was. We get a whole new cast of plucky kids.
Sure.
And I think that they are... I don't know. Beecha has taken Bright's role as like the grown-up captain.
Okay, sure.
Because I love Beecha as a captain.
Right. Okay. Good.
And that's our tie back to Double Zeta.
Yeah, okay, good. I like that. I like Beecha being in charge, because fuck Bright.
Yeah, definitely.
I have a totally different idea.
Okay.
This is what popped into my head. So we see Rue and Judo fly to Jupiter at the end of Double Zeta. if we're going to go off of a pure sequel series, I would like to see them get to Jupiter. And, they have like some colonies, or they have some sort of settlement there that like has like materials and whatnot. And I would like to see some sort of like big conflict that like Judo has to once again like sort of be the hero. But what if, as much as I hate to say it, what if Amuro was there? Like, because we know Amuro's fucking about in space. What if Amuro is there with him? So Judo gets his Amuro time, just like Camille got his Amuro time. They get more mobile suits, whatever the fuck. It would be interesting to see these different because Camille was like, I don't want to be a new type, and Judo's like, I better be a fucking new type. So I want to see how he gets to interact with Amuro to deal with some other new conflict. I don't know if it matters as much. Well, I guess it kind of matters what the conflict is if they're fighting like an unequivocal bad force, but I don't know. Mainly, I would like to see how Judo and Amuro interact compared to how Camille and Amuro interacted in Zeta.
That would be really nice. Like, I know we were just kind of earlier talking about like Amuro, but like, yeah, Amuro.
Okay, what is next?
Next, Noxus Raskin asks, this is a question that might be better post CCA, but I'll ask anyway so it isn't forgotten. If CCA was never greenlighted and the writers had to fit Char and Amuro into Double Zeta, what kind of themes or plot would you have liked to have seen this alternate Double Zeta arc?
Mainly, what comes to my mind is I would want Char to have the final showdown with Haman and end up either getting killed or killing her or both. And I want Judo to be the one to take down Glemmy. Like Judo and Rue together, but like I would want it to end with Char and Haman rather than Judo and Haman.
And then we also get that interaction with I'm taking this with the and Amuro question mark. We get that interaction between Amuro and Judo that you kind of talked about in Triple Zeta.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I think I want to see how they bounce off each other, and I think that it makes more sense for Judo to be the one to fight Haman because, that is like the most interesting ideological clash to me, or at least one of the most interesting. Bryant also asks, what Pokemon do you think the Double Zeta cast would have? There's a lot, so let's only give them one.
Yeah.
Judo? I'm thinking like some sort of a fighting type for Judo.
Yeah.
Let me think. Maybe like a Toxicroak or a Krogunk.
Ooh, that would be cool.
Because they're fighting, but they're decently mischievous and fun too,
Yeah.
They're like they're fighting, but like they're a little sneaky, a little fun loving, a little goofy. I think that can work for Judo.
Yeah.
Lena. What are we giving Lena?
They'd probably give her a fairy type.
Yeah, because she's a girl, of course, naturally.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gundam.
So let's pick a cool fairy type for Lena.
Yeah, she could have like a strong fairy type. Let's
I'm blanking on the name, but
what is the type? I know like every Pokemon.
I'm blanking on the name, but what Snubbull evolves into?
Oh, Granbull.
Granbull, yes.
I always heard they made them fairy. Yeah, no, okay. Granbull is like, it's cute, but also fucking badass.
Yeah.
It's like, I think that's a cool, because Snubbull is like a pretty silly, cute guy, and Granbull is like bigger and ruder and meaner, but I feel like that's like sort of Lena's arc where she gets to like, she learns all this royalty shit, but then she's like, nah, fuck all that. Like, I'm still me. I'm still like fucking, she knows how to use her power, but she's also still just like, one of the colony, one kids at heart.
Yeah.
Lena getting a Granbull is fun to me. How about Beecha?
Scraggy.
Oh my god, fucking nailed it. Beecha gets a Scraggy, confirmed. Okay, alright, we don't even need to fucking dwell on that. That was nailed it. Mondo.
Mondo.
What would be good for Mondo?
Let's see.
Mondo's the kind of guy might have a bug.
Yeah, I can see that.
What would you have, Mondo? I can see Mondo. Oh, I can see Mondo getting an Excelgor.
Ooh.
Badass, really fast fucking like snail ninja. Sort of, because like it starts out as a little Shelmet. It's like nothing special. But then when it evolves, it gets all these new cool powers. And I think that could be sort of, sort of symbolic of Mondo's whole arc.
Yeah.
Getting more mature, growing up. Very good, very good. How about Elle?
Elle gets... I think she gets an evolution.
How about we give her an electric type and give her Jolteon?
Ah, there we go.
And she's blonde, so it means she's electric type,
Yep.
as is tradition with like every Pokemon character. Good. Fuck yeah. Okay.
Rue gets...
Oh, I got one. I got
Okay.
it. Rue's, like, she fucking lives in space. She's in the Levian Rose, and she has the cool shooting star motif on her clothes. What if we give her a Minior?
Oh, yeah, I like that.
A little shooting star Pokemon.
Oh, that's good. I was also trying to think of, like, something spacey.
I'm like, we can't give her Deoxys. That's off the table.
I was kind of thinking, like, Magnezone because it's a UFO, but I like Minior better.
Yeah, that's good. We'll be here all day if we go every single fucking Double Zeta character.
Yeah.
And we have several more questions to get through. Thank you, Bryant. What's next?
All right. Next, we've got... Let me get back to Discord. Okay. Jojo Fs asks, given how Zeta and Double Zeta were made and released back to back, if you personally were remaking them to make them more tonally and logistically consistent, regardless of whether this is a good idea, how would you do it? Example, Shangri-La kids are evacuees picked up during the final battle who meet and like Camille and see what happens to him firsthand before an event is made to drop them off.
That's interesting. I don't know. Like, part of me is like, well, I'm not a fucking TV show writer, and I'm happy for the most part leaving them how they left it, except for Moon and Tiger Bomb, etc., etc., etc. But like, I think I really like that they get into this and they do not understand it at first. Like, I like that the Double Zeta kids are these total outsiders to war and all that. Like, I like that Judo meets Camille and is like, whoa, that's weird. Anyway, moving on. So when he learns about Camille, it's sort of more powerful of a moment. I don't want it to be sort of like a cheap, like a cheap throwaway answer. But like, I don't know if I really would change anything to make it more tonally consistent, because I feel like it ends up being tonally consistent just like over the course of the show itself.
Yeah, and I think you need that inconsistency to kind of separate the two shows.
I think Double Zeta might honestly be a worse show without the goofiness of it, because Absolutely. It would be too similar to what came before. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's like I don't really. I love the show how it is, except for Moon and Tiger Bomb. I don't think I need to change a whole lot of it. I think I'm happy with what we got. It's good. This next question, though, I think this will be a fun one. Colin asks, follow up to that previous question, you have to cut Zeta and Double Zetas down to 2 24-episode seasons a la Gundam 00 or IBO's 2 seasons. What stays?
This
is tough.
Well, I think that we can...
Part of me is like, I know we can't cut all of Earth out, because you have to go to Earth and Gundam. Earth is always important. I think that I think we can cut out. Let's cut out this Double Zeta's Earth section. As good as it is, I think Zeta's Earth section is good, because Camille meets 4 and all. I don't want to touch 4. 4 has to stay.
Oh, absolutely.
But I think all of what happened on Earth in Double Zeta can be moved to space. Like, if it's an Axis, Lena gets taken to Axis, and Judo has this crazy fucking new type moment in Axis there. Or in, side 3 still. Like, we don't need to have been on Earth for that to happen, because nothing, like... We see more Glemmy. We see more Glemmy fostering rebellion. We see more, like, of the sort of Earth side stories. And, of course, the colony drop. But I think that, like, the colony drop can stay. And they were... And, like, what it was is they were trying to stop it from getting into... Like, from landing on Earth, but they couldn't stop it. So they basically have to helplessly watch from space as it lands on Earth.
That would actually be really cool.
Yeah, so we're cutting Earth out of Double Zeta. Let's cut... That's a decent amount of episodes. I think we can probably fast track the beginning of Double Zeta. Still keep the comedy, but like make it a little more snappy pace,
Yeah, there's definitely some episodes that don't contribute to the overall story that we could kind of zoom through.
Like there, fucking the first episode is as good as how it is. Zeri steals the suit. Judo steals the suit. And then Master shows up, and then when Master shows up, they have to find a way to leave the colony. And that's how they get embroiled in it.
Yeah.
And that's mostly cut Double Zeta down. I think for Zeta is like...
I haven't watched Zeta in almost a decade, so I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, no, I don't fucking know, because I think Zeta's like a perfect show, so I don't want to cut anything out. I think you can cut a lot of the Rosamia stuff out of Zeta. I think a lot of she was just 4 again, and I know that's important that she's 4 again, but it's like, well, we've done it before. I think that... Honestly, it's hard to remember some of Zeta's stuff as well, but like, I don't know. I don't know. Colin, you're asking me to do the fucking impossible because I don't want to cut a single thing out of Zeta. I love the show too much. I think it's 0079 is my favorite TV show, but I think Zeta's a better TV show. But, you know, we spent an entire fucking season of a podcast talking about that, so you can tune into Wild Cool Robot Season 2 for that. I don't know. If anything more comes to my mind, I will blurt it out. But in the meantime, how about we move on to our next question?
All right. Real asks, the podcast hosts get the illustrious and highly sought-after job of killing Bright off. How do you do it? Is it flashy, ironic, subtle, off-screen?
When Bright jumped out to rescue Emery that one time when they were being under attack, they just get fucking blasted, both of them. Goodbye.
His helmet wasn't on all the way. Whoops.
Bye-bye, honey. Sorry, bestie. No, I don't want Bright's death to be important. I want to fucking yeet. See ya. Bye, Bright. Okay.
When Juno's holding them close to each other but in separate hands, he's not very good at the... No, that's stupid.
Yeah! He does a fucking Kaworu on them.
Pop does an Ava crush.
Oh, no. I don't care. Fuck Bright. Fuck Emery.
Off screen.
Horrible.
That's the best.
Yeah, they just say, oh, by the way, Bright died. Oh, shit. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, that's the best. Cass asks, which Double Zeta character has the best fit? Honestly, I think it's gonna be Beecha. That fucking cool, like, shawl poncho he's always wearing looks really comfy.
Yeah. And then, like, the goofy answer is, of course, Good Boy Shorts, Mondo.
Mondo's short sleeve button down bow tie suspender shorts. It's so good.
But no, Beach is probably the right answer. Baby.
Mm-hmm. I also really love Rue's Earth outfit.
Oh, yeah.
The sort of like romper look. I think that's very fun. Her side ponytail fucking whips too. I love Rue. Rue's so cool. All right, next question.
All right.
2 more.
All right. Kess also asks, throughout the 3 shows, were there any episodes or arcs that stick out to you now for how they change your perspective on the show's themes?
I think what sticks out to me the absolute most is the end of Zeta, where Camille just gets completely fucking broken by battle. I think that is like the biggest way of hammering home that, like, yeah, this is like such a fucking horrible, fucked up thing that happened to this kid. It's not Double Zeta related, you know, but this is obviously asking about all 3 seasons. I think that's what really, like, that is maybe like one of the most powerful moments where it's just like, oh, fuck. And the fact that the show just ends there, it's like, you don't feel good. You're just like, oh shit, dude, oh fuck, this isn't good, you know?
It was heavy and it hurt and it definitely left a hell of an impression.
Yeah, also, fucking... When I watched 0079, I didn't realize that, like, new types were, like, space magic psychics. So the whole fucking Amuro and Lala psychedelic mind palace adventure was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, when I first got there, I remember just being so confused and being like, oh, what is going on? I love this.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that, like, just from playing the games, like the Dynasty Warrior Gundam games, and hearing them talk about new types, I thought it was like, oh, some kind of Super Saiyan-y type thing, really? And then I actually started watching the shows and I was like, this is so much deeper and cooler than that.
Yes. I love the idea of new types. And I think, I don't know, yeah, it's either Papner's fucking Camille's mind up, or it's your introduction to what new types do. Those are like my standout moments in the show that like really sold me on everything. And finally, our final question of Double Zeta. Cass asks, hit me with your Char's counterattack predictions.
And this was going to have to be all you because I have seen it a couple times.
Okay, so don't tell me anything.
Oh, no, of course.
They have to die. Char and Amuro fucking have to die. Like, I can't imagine finishing the movie and either of them come out of it okay. I don't know, like, who, like, I don't, like, aside from that, I really don't know what to expect, because, like, I feel like I know they're on opposing sides, so something happens between Zeta and Char's counterattack, but, like, I think it's, like, 6-7 years after Zeta. I think it's, like, takes place in UC 93, if I remember correctly.
I believe so.
So, like, something happens, like, you know, ideologies fucking simmer, but I think that, like, I'm interested to see what Char's motivation is for not being good anymore. I mean, he was fighting to protect Earth in Zeta, so I wonder if, like, in a similar way, he's like, oh, we gotta fucking protect Earth, and I'm gonna fucking fight people who are hurting Earth still. I don't know. I don't have a whole... I'm very bad at predictions because I feel like I either make a joke answer or I just, like, can't think of anything actual. But my main one is that, like, they're definitely gonna fucking beef it because they fucking have to. I don't know. I'm excited, though, because, hey, I'm gonna watch it in a week.
Good answer.
I'll find out then.
Good answer.
Thank you, Jake. Well, shit, Jake, we fucking did it.
Fuck.
Double Zeta. Zeta.
Zeta.
Good show. Zeta. It's funny. It is my least favorite by default of the UC trilogy, but it's still like a fucking, I say, like an 8 out of 10 show.
Oh, absolutely. Honestly, just because of like this way of experiencing it and this way of watching through it, it's probably going to be like my favorite Gundam series going forward.
I think if you like the old adage, if you like something, podcast about it. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's like, I think I'm very glad that we got to share this experience. I love this podcast because it lets me do this with my friends, and we get to like have our own show that's like, oh yeah, that's the one that's Morg's in my show. That's Colin's and Sarah's in my show. This is Jake's in my show. I really like that. That's what I love doing about this podcast is like, we get to, it's making stories together. That's what friends do.
This has just
it's fun.
Been such a really positive and amazing experience, and it's been a real blast recording with you.
Thank you, Jake. Yeah, and you know what? Who knows what the future holds? Maybe we'll have another Gundam series that we get to do together in the future.
Oh, I would love that.
Because God knows there's a fucking lot of these guys. Oh, okay. Let's tone it down. This isn't goodbye because obviously you'll be back next week for Char's Counterattack, which is very, very fucking fun. So, in the meantime, Jake, I'd like to ask you where we can find you on the internet.
You can find me on the twitter.com at Mr. Jakey Poo. You can find me on a Hearts Against Balance, a Kingdom Hearts inspired actual play podcast, where I am playing as Seahawk from She-Ra, the good newer one. You can also find me at a podcast, Most Foul, where my wife and I are reading through the Artemis Fowl books.
Nice.
And Max, where can we find you?
I am on the internet at Maxi Bajillion on Twitter, Instagram, etc. My other shows are Pot of Greed, a Yu-Gi-Oh show, which is on Twitter at Pot of Greed Cast. It's the world's #1 only Yu-Gi-Oh podcast on Spec Capricorp. We're near the end of GX Season 1, fucking whips ass. And my other show is called Slappers Only, a video game music show on podcast. slappersonlypod.com or slappersonlypod on Twitter. When this episode comes out, we will have released our episode on Kingdom Hearts 1. And Jake, you'll be the first to know the episode we're doing, and it'll already have been announced when this episode goes up. We're going to be doing Donkey Kong Country, but for real this time. No longer a bit. We're going to talk about chimp core music. It's going to rule. And Jake, final question. What is your robot of the week?
Oh man, I wasn't sure if we were going to do one for this or not, so I wasn't super prepared.
No, it's good. It's good. It's fresh in your mind.
So let's, oh my God, Max.
Uh-oh, let's go.
Oh my God. This is one of the most formative series of my childhood. One of the, like, biggest franchises that I've been in love with forever, and I've never mentioned it once. How has he not already been my robot of the week? It's Clank from Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, it's Clank! It's funny Clank!
He's just a funky little dude. He's an action movie star. He's one of my favorite robots in all of media. I can't believe he hasn't been my robot of the week yet, but he is absolutely my robot of the week.
Oh, I love Clank. I'm excited for Rift Apart. We've definitely talked about that on the podcast before.
Yes, I think we have.
The PS4 remake was good. The whole fucking series is good. Oh, Clank, funny little Clank.
He's just my funny little guy.
Oh, tremendous. What a good ender of that segment. It's Clank. It's always been Clank. Well, listeners. This is the end of this episode. Tune in next week for Char's Counterattack. It's going to be fucking fun. And Jake, for the final time in Double Zeta, as we always say in the words of new types around the world,
war is bad.
Wow, cool robot. good night, new types. See you in a week. Or rather, in like 7 years.
Toodles doodles.
Peach.